Welcome back. If you guys have been following this is going to be level 6. If not, you can go to my channel and look back through the other couple videos of the missions I played before this. I started with prologue and we are about to launch into level 6. You can see as we start going, these times are going up and up and up. So I'll probably start doing just one video per session unless I start beating some of my times that I did before, because they're going to stretch out a little lengthy. But let's hop into level 6. Mission stretch. Destroy all enemy structures. Nothing new there. The crew encounters strange spatial anomalies that hint at a great mystery. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Tell you what, if I beat it in 5 times that much, which I won't. There is a spatial anomaly here, 2 points in space that are somehow connected. Analysis indicates some sort of entry and exit to rift space. They appear to be permanently open, which should be impossible. The portals appear to be stable, but very small. I think I know what they are for. They are constructed to conduct particulate only. Any particulate entering at the entrance portal should instantly be transported to the exit portal. Pretty standard. I've never seen rift space used this way before. It is an intentional weaponization of rift space to work in conjunction with the particulate. Weaponizing technology. Who would have thought? If we can get a stream of benign particulate into the entrance portal, that should make for some interesting combat scenarios. Danny, what else is in this system? Info cache, ship licenses, energy crystals, and 2 very odd items. I guess we'll have to go collect those. Alright, let's drop the corporate HQ, and we have quite a bit of energy pods, which is really going to speed construction up at first. So I'm going to go ahead and drop both my lathes and drop a cruiser as well, which normally I wouldn't do, but since there are so many energy crystals or energy pods around here, we won't have to worry about slow construction at first. So, this is a benign emitter right here. So we're going to want to get a grabber up quickly as well, as we are quickly being besieged on all sides. So we're going to build an Omni up as well, and then, oops, cancel. And then get our lathe ships out here just so we can start getting these energy pods as well. And we're going to be moving our cruiser up to just harass them a little bit as they try to make some forward progress into our land. And we're going to want another cruiser up as well quite quickly to defend this side. And this lathe can go ahead and grab this ship pickup. And we are doing we have over 1,500 of stored energy that are in these energy pods, so we are doing quite fine. We're going to grab our extra destroyer, and once our lathes gather these 2 last energy pods, we're going to come and see what this, let's get a grabber up. We're going to come and see what these collect items are. So civilian model micro tank ship have integrated into our ship database. The ship can supply energy to any other ship or Omni in range. Very useful for the successful operation ships that are out of range of an energy mine. Okay, cool. So it is kind of like an extended operation ship. We can push forward out of our base of operations from our energy mines and still be able to resupply, repair, and whatnot. So we're going to get that built up, and our grabber is getting built up, and I'm not sure where we should put this. It looks exactly like the amp gems we used to joke about in the engineering academy. It was the same in the science academy. We speculated that ship weapons and systems could be tricked into having a greater range or fire rate if they were modulated in and out of rift space very rapidly. Graviton energy modulators, we call them, or gems. I think I can modify our ship consoles to use them. Select a ship you would like, and amp gem. Mount amp gem. Alright. My eyes are swelling with tears. Well, good for you. We should have 2 of them here in a second. So it looks like if we compare these 2, you can tell this one has bigger firing arcs than the other one. So it looks like we're going to put the amp gems on our cruisers. I think they are more powerful than our Yogun is. So Joven, my apologies. So first thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and take out this emitter, and then once this emitter is out, we're going to grab this energy source and start omniing up this land right here. And we are going to get our omnis built in preparation and have them following the fleet rather than waiting for them to get built once we get there. So this benign particulate is going to give us some sort of a shield from this emitter, so we're not going to need to bring any of our other ships up. We're actually going to push our flanks and just start pushing the particulate back sooner rather than later. Because if you remember, the name of this game is stabilization, and the sooner you can stabilize and start maneuvering your fleet where you want them to, rather than reacting to what the enemy is doing, the quicker, which it kind of makes kind of like an obvious duh, but it's always better to stabilize and then expand rather than try to rush and grab these power sources, these energy sources, you know, even the databases or the ship tech. You always want to make sure you're stabilized with what you have and where you are before you start doing all that. And that will ensure your success when you're playing this game. So we want both of these lathe ships back over here. So this is where a micro tank comes in handy. We're going to bring our micro tank up in here because the enemy mire got too close to our energy mine, and we didn't have any omnis on here to beat back the enemy mire. So we're going to have to wait until our omnis are able to mire enough land, which we should have put it closer, but I didn't think about that. So it's an oversight on my part. But while we're waiting on that, we're going to just go ahead and take out this emitter. So it's a little bit of a delay, but we're going to be okay. And we'll also have omnis over here where we need them in order to prevent this land from getting unduly mired. Except what it looks like. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring all three back and get this energy mine up as quick as possible. And we are going to go ahead and see. Might be asking too much from our lathe ship here, but we'll see. We shall see. So you're going to see this is instantly going to incredibly speed up our colonization of this land. How's that doing? It's down to yellow health, but these ran out of energy. See how slow they're moving now that they did run out of energy? So we may have to wait for our micro tank to come back. But now it's taking some pretty significant damage because of the cannon that this has at the top of the mine. If we come back down here, these energy mines or these emitters will slowly heal themselves. So you don't have a tremendous amount of time, but if we're quick about it, we can retreat and then come back and get it before it's fully finished healing, which is what we're going to try to do. Alright, excellent. That's back up. So we're going to move down our micro tank and try to support our operations down here, which we should be able to do. There we go. Not to mention we have our particulate absolutely swarming it. So it should be there's the energy mine. We're gonna see if we can't deal with this energy mine down here, which we may need to drop an omni on that with our. Nope, actually we're gonna do just fine. Okay. Now we're gonna slowly take over this land with the help of our benign particulate. It's gonna feed into it for us. No omnis needed, as our omnis are down here fighting back this, which is, I would say, pretty even as they pour out of the mouth of this. And it looks like that secondary portal's right here. So once we stabilize down here, I'm going to. We have our second grabber built, and I'm just gonna have our grabber position like this in that stream and see if we can't shoot them out and bottleneck this up. Maybe not do tremendous amount of damage, but try and bottleneck this up and prevent them from spilling out like this. So our energy's looking good. We are slowly losing as we move our ships into combat, but once we clear this area out and we're not flinging ourselves into the arm's enemy, we will start regaining energy. And as the Omnis mire more land, we'll be able to get more energy as well. Okay, so I'm going to move this into the stream and see what happens when we start forcing our particles into this portal. So there they are, disappearing and reappearing. Looks like they're clustering up, which is going to just about stop the flow of particles through there. Excellent. That leaves us with no worries as we push on this emitter. We're going to take this out quickly. We're just going to throw our double lathe ships at it, not really give it a time to react. And then we're going to move our destroyer up to more or less take the damage that are slipping through. Although it looks like that's too big of a job for us, so we're going to move up some support. Now, how are we going to get back there? We can use our... Actually, you know what I want to do? We don't need the lathe back here anymore. We don't need this one. We don't need this one. So we're going to move these three down here and try and take over this arm of the mired land, because I'm pretty sure, I can just do a test real quick, I'm pretty sure if we move ships over red mired land, do we lose health? No, we do not. Okay. Well, I'm still going to try and take that over, because why not? So, looks like we have pushed them successfully back from the mouth. We're not getting any more coming through here, which is good. And our energy is full, even though once we push a little bit deeper in, it's going to start draining as we fire our weapons more continuously. Let's go ahead and speed this up. There is a big mass of them right here that we are whittling away. They're kind of getting stuck on the rock. Which, if we had our Omnis over there that were converting the land, they would absorb into the land mass in order to reconvert it. So that's sometimes a strategy if you notice that there's a large mass of particles that are being stuck upon a landmass. You can try to use their own workings against them. So it looks like we're completely breaking through with the blue particles now. Need to get him a little bit closer in support. Okay. These Omnis are no longer terribly needed. You see very little power going to them now. Okay, so we're going to move this up. And I wish we had another micro tank. That would be really nice. We're going to see what happens when we see how pissed off they get when we go to try and take over this emitter. Evidently not pissed off enough. So we're going to move our micro tank up. And if you leave the micro tank inside your sphere of power, these little ships are not going to have to ferry back and forth to give it power. It'll just directly shoot it power, which will then directly shoot your ship's power. So if you're strategic about how you place your micro tanks, there will be a lot less flight time and a lot less wait time between your micro tank delivering you energy and you know what I'm saying. I'm lost for words. So keep it inside your sphere of power if you can, and it'll significantly cut down on your resupply times. If not, that's okay too. That's what they're made for. They're made for long range operations. This cache contains a fragment of a science log. I estimate to be 1,000 cycles old. We know the cleansing has come countless times, but we don't know why. I have a theory about all that lowering entropy on that I have a theory that it is all about lowering entropy on a galactic scale. Why is unknown. With more readings, perhaps I can understand why particulate was created, and the record abruptly ends there. You'll have to forgive me today, guys. I have a little bit of trouble speaking. That was probably when their ship was destroyed and the info cache was blown clear and came to rest on this asteroid fragment. Done. The cleansing that was mentioned in the class we collected, what do you make of that? Fairy tales from our youth, Amicus. I know you better than that. You know we are onto something, so don't try to ignore this and pretend we will believe you. Oh, I'm not ignoring it, and I don't believe all fairy tales are fiction. Cool. 17-minute completion time. I'm sure you guys can see these maps, and I don't know how people complete this in 2 minutes. Beyond ignoring these back, that's how they must have to do it. They ignore these back powers and immediately land some. I don't know how they do it, but 17 minutes, not too bad. We didn't take too long in that, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into this next one called Brute Level 7. You can see we have, well, quite interesting. So in this level, we're going to use some stuff that we haven't used before. Objective, destroy all enemy structures. Once again, the particulate behavior begins to alter and the crew gets answers it does not like. Okay. My gods, this system is like any other we have seen. Scanners are detecting a kind of spatial structure. This structure appears to be a crystallized version of the particulate. I would imagine that's this on your right hand side. I didn't encounter this in my simulation. I can probably work out the mechanics, but the pattern of this struct is growing and what will require some intention or plan on the part of the particulate. Good old Director Ogun, I just need to know how best to kill it. I can modify our cannons to fire a special shot at the struck, but missiles will be useless for some reason. Correct, Director Ogun. Note that as well that our ship hulls will interact with the struck. I can also modulate our lathes to destroy the struck, and of course any benign particulate would also annihilate the struck. Great, so RAM, it works for me. Everyone observe the sensors. There's a benign form of the struck in the system. That's the blue things we're seeing. There's also 2 intact structure near the large masses. Scanners indicate they're offline. Crew, I believe this system was the site of a great battle. The remnants of the battle are all that's left. Let's collect intelligence, and I believe we're going to have a ship pickup, an Omni pickup, and an info pickup. So we are going to drop. We're going to drop back here in this corner and immediately send a lathe ship up. I want a cruiser as well, and I want 2 Omnis down here. So what they said that our ship hulls will interact with the struck is if I drive my ship over this land, nothing's gonna happen to it, right? It just flies over the land. It can't land. It's like it can't stop there. But what? Get the mine. There we go. You can't stop there, but it can fly over it. If I were to fly my ship through some of these particulate struck, it would take damage as it moves through. There's 2 buttons up here: show fields and show enemy struck. So with the fields, if you see anything that says show fields, so we're going to take this away. If you zoom down on these fields, they're pointing to where the particulate is going to go. So as it builds up, it's going to collect, and then all the arrows will make me wait for a long time. Excellent. But when it shoots them out, it'll show the arrows pointing left. So it's just showing you where the where like gravitational fields of sorts, like they're forcing the particulate to go in a certain way. These structures on land appear to be creating mire. Fascinating. This means the technology is similar to our omnis, but they're not omnis. I've never seen anything before or anything like them. So it looks like Lays will take them out. And there's some nice friendly banter. We can all laugh and pretend we are a part of it. So we do have a benign emitter up there. I want to get a grabber up as soon as possible. And I also want to put some of these omnis down, because if these things are creating mire, these things right here, then I want to be able to combat that as efficiently as possible. So we have our cruiser up. We're going to mount an amp gem on that, and we're going to stick it right behind our defensive wall right here. And then we're going to move this up, and we have another lathe building, and we're going to have this staged so it's ready to grab those energy stores. So it looks like this is actually shooting down our wall, which is not very nice at all. Okay, we're running low on energy, so we need to get these energy pods. And we need to get this up to put some damage. So the other button up here is show enemy struck. And all these grid lines are where the particulate wants to build. So if you let it go unchecked, it will build. And now these blue lines are where we can build a wall if we move our lathe up in range of it. So sometimes the game bugs out a little bit and won't let you select ships, but if you build another ship or select an Omni, I believe, it will do just fine. You just kind of gotta nudge it a little bit. So we have our grabber. We're gonna shoot our grabber straight through the center, and our lathes will sit here and rebuild the wall slowly, but they will. Looks like we're making decent progress on both islands. We do already have over double the amount of landmass they do, which is nice. It's a nice feeling, you know, sticking it to the man. So our flanks are not in too much trouble, and we're going to go ahead and throw the second amp gem down on this one, this cruiser, and then we're going to get a Joven up and a micro tank since we are starting to sit on some power. Also going to move up this Omni and this Omni. There we go. Because those will be in range to grab this info pickup and this ship pickup. If we have the range, yep, we'll be able to get that Omni pickup. And we will not be able to hit this energy mine quite yet. Once we push some of this red back further, we will just send our Omni outside of our energy range, and it should be able to take it out. So we've created a new ship schematic, very interesting design, primitive. This is the hammer. She is designed to ram through struck, particulate, or anything else that gets in our way. Isn't that mighty convenient? So the mythological Thor god hammer. Somebody taught me how to say that one time, but I will not embarrass myself by attempting to say Thor's hammer. So here we go. We're about to get the info pickup, and we are damaging this mire structure because we are encroaching on its sphere of influence. So it's going to take damage from our blue mire. These derelict structures near the enemy forces appear to be ancient. The purpose isn't clear. Yada yada yada. They are weapons built by some crew, so they are weapons. I say we take nearby energy sources and let them charge it to activate. Excellent. So now that we've kind of gotten a direction, we're going to go ahead and take our fleet over here to the left side. Info cache, it is very corrupt, but it has a massive degree of redundancy. It seems to be designed to survive for eons. There's a primer with a large parity redundancy and includes a basic lexicon and instructions for building a language. Any weapons described? No, I'm not sure. The primer is intact and describes a language that was in use in various systems millennia ago. Nothing new there, but the creators of this cache must have assumed it would be lost for a very long time. The rest of the message is far too corrupt to understand, yada yada yada. So we're going to go ahead and move our fleet up while we're in this paused stage. Your enthusiasm appreciated. So one wants guns and one wants answers. Excellent. So the enemy mine mire spawner was destroyed, and you see we're quickly taking it over, and this is about to get whacked too. So in preparation of that, we're going to go ahead and move our Omni up, so we'll capture that as soon as it, there we go. And because I'll capture it, we can move our fleet up outside of our energy range, and we'll bring our micro tank with us too, but we won't need it for very long. As soon as we capture that, we'll be in range of that energy mine. And we're gonna need this. So this right here is going to be our next objective. We're going to take out this enemy energy mine, which looks like it will let us charge this, is what it sounds like. It's going to let us charge this sphere, which there it is, sending it power. And here's what we created. It looks like a hammerhead shark, it looks like a hammer, it looks like all sorts of things. I'm sure you guys will come up with plenty of suggestions as to what that looks like. I do not doubt you. Oh, look at that. So that, once was charged up, looks like it's sending a direct beam for that. Oh. Would you look at that? So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. We're going to use this hammer to hammer straight through and then take this out while it's essentially neutered. It's surrounded by, I guess, our friendly particulate. So that's what we're going to go do. Which, it released it now, remember, because of those fields that I showed you guys? Nope, there we go. So we're just going to use this as a shield, but we don't want to just lose it for no reason. So we're going to try and repair it. Looks like it's taken some considerable damage. There goes that. Let's see if we can't distract it just a little bit. We also want to lose ships unnecessarily. So up here on top left, it says enemy mire spawner destroyed, and it has a little line that points to where the recent activity was. So that was here, and now we're going to be able to collect the rest of this island, and this will be destroyed automatically, and then we'll just do what we did on the bottom side to the top side. And this will be destroyed in just a second. Fantastic. So we're going to move back down and start working. We should have been working on this energy mire since we started invading that, but I got a little distracted. Although we might lose this if we're not careful. It's gonna be fine. Excellent. And then we're gonna move up here, and these are the amp gems that we saw earlier. I should have collected them a while ago, but I did not. So we have a force coming towards us. We're gonna shift, because reminder, these are the cockpits. This is the cockpit. This is the cockpit of this ship, and while this ship has a tremendous hull space, if this were to be turned sideways and it hit it from the side, it would eat through straight to the cockpit and completely destroy the ship. So it's very important to, as how you position your ships, where you position your ships, in order to increase their longevity. So it looks like we don't have one of those fancy buttons for this one. So we're just going to go ahead and take this and do it the old-fashioned way and just push it straight through. Although I should have backed it up, because these things take a long time to build. There we go. I'll get some healing. So what you can do, and I find very beneficial, well, time to retreat these guys, is when you have an amp gem and you're not getting completely overwhelmed by the enemy, you can go ahead and put your amp gem into a lathe ship, and it increases the range and the intensity of the lathe ship, which means it will destroy any enemy structure quicker, and it has a longer range to do so. So they become very nasty. They become very nasty tools to use, and I found that was really one of the best uses for amp gems if you're not being completely swamped by the enemy. Otherwise, you're just gonna have two powerful lathe ships and a dead fleet. Which that guy got a little close. So we're going to go ahead and bring this guy back in here because we can't actually get close enough to this. So we kind of need a sacrificial lamb, which is, you know, it's fine. You just got to keep it alive. That's the key. That's the tricky part. We got to keep this alive. There we go. Move down here, quickly leapfrog. This destroyer is getting mauled, but that's what they're there for. Bring him back. Bring these two lathe ship back, and actually use this one to come back here and grab that on me, and use this one to grab that energy mine. Here we go. So I'm going to mount the amp gem in the other one as well, and that way they'll both have increased range. So if you remember last time, we need to be ready to shoot this gap so we can get in there before the particulate has a time to respond. That ought to do. Going to use him for his intended purpose. We're just going to kind of drag a line through it and go for the decap. Crew, admirable job. We have journeyed deeper into redacted space. As we've journeyed deeper into redacted space, we have encountered an increasing threat and more mysteries, but now we have a solid lead on solving many of these mysteries. Indeed, our mission priority is to find and collect more info caches so we can reconstruct the data archive. The archive very likely contains a trove of answers. And yes, Director Ogun, if we are lucky, a big gun too. Okay, so we encountered some new things today. We had enemy particulate structures, and we got a pretty cool new ship, the Hammer, which will melt through those and push through those. And we're starting to get into some more, I wouldn't say advanced tactics, but just some more tactics that you have to think about rather than click and push your ships. You know, we have a micro tank, so we can go outside of our base of operations. We have friendly struck that we can build up. You know, if we choose to play more defensive, we can build it up, or we can shoot past it and take it down. We have enemy mire spawners, which are gonna be complicated for our omnis. So we're encountering more and more things as we go on, and we're seeing that we're going to be just tested a little bit more. And here's what they're talking about. They're reconfiguring their cannons to fire at the struck, but you can see how even ×4 this is going to take forever. And this one only has one cannon on it. These have two apiece, and it is just so slow. So we're going to get farther into this. This is going to be the end of the mission for now. We're going to jump into level 7 on the next video, and here's a little, level 8 on the next video, and here's a little preview of it. Looks mighty interesting. So stay tuned for the next video. Not stay tuned, you know, because it's YouTube and it's not TV, but it'll be up in a little bit. Enjoy watching these, and I'll see you guys later.